Hello, and welcome to this week's Functional Mobility. We are going to be working on our shoulders and spine today. You will need a wall space. You're going to need enough room to do a snow angel on the wall. So make sure you have no pictures hanging on it so that you don't knock them off. And then you will need a pair of shoes that tie, so they need to have shoelaces, and then a yoga block. You can also use the shoes for that if you want to. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll begin in a kneeling position, make tight fists, squeeze, 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 and release. Tight fist, squeeze hard, activate all of your arms, tuck the ribs in, shoulders down, squeeze and release. And tight fists again. Squeeze, 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 and release. Now come to all fours. Place your hands out in front of you, shoulders back and down, push them away from your ears, straight arms, and pull your fingers, flex your fingers back to your face, and then curl them into fists. Open and close. Nice and slow, keep pulling your palms or the back of your hands towards your face, and now bend them down. Open the fingers, make tight fists. Try to keep the back of your palms in the same place. Don't let your wrist flex and unflex here. Now turn your hands over, so now our palms are facing up. Make sure your shoulders are back and down, and palms towards your face. And again, open and close your fingers. We're doing 3 in each position. And now point your fingers down. So palms are facing out in front of you. Open the fingers and make a tight fist. Now place your hands flat onto the ground out in front of you. You can come onto all fours if you want to. And we're going to lift up just the palm of our hand and push all of our fingers into the ground. So the entire length of your finger is on the ground, and you're only bending your hand right at that joint in between your finger and your palm. So these are fingertip push-ups. So push up, slowly lower back down. On your way back down, make it nice and controlled. Be in control of that eccentric. Up, back down, up, back down. Nice and slow on the way down. Very good. Go ahead and come back to all fours, and we're going to do some spine articulation. So to start, get in a neutral spine position and only tuck your pelvis. So our shoulders are staying completely still. We're not doing anything with our shoulders, and all we're doing is tucking our pelvis. So we're letting our hips point down so their butt is up towards the sky, and then we're tucking our tailbone under and pushing our low back up towards the sky as far as we can. We're going to be doing 8 in this position, only moving our hips. So you can see that my low back is where all of the work is going on. My shoulders are locked in place. I'm not doing any of the pushing there. Then lock your hips into a neutral spine, and we're going to do the same thing but with our shoulders now. So my hips are not moving, and I'm pushing my scapulas up towards the ceiling and then pulling my chest down towards the ground. As you do this, try to keep your shoulders from going up towards your ears. Try to keep your scapulas pulling down your back. At your own pace, do 8 of these as well, pushing up and down. Keep the arms nice and straight. As you pull the chest down, think of pulling it through your arms. And now add both together. So hips and shoulders release, then push up to the sky. Move together. Hips and shoulders release, pull the belly button clear down to the ground, push the back of the spine clear up to the ceiling. Again, belly button to the ground, push up to the ceiling, really tuck the pelvis when you're pushing up, pull the belly button down, push up to the ceiling. Great. Now we're going to alternate hips and shoulders. So first my shoulders go down, then my hips, shoulders go up, hip tucks under, shoulders down, then my hips, shoulders push up, hips tuck under, shoulders down, hips, shoulders push up, hips tuck under, and reverse, hips down, shoulders down, hips tuck, shoulders push. Hips down, shoulders down, hips tuck, shoulders push. Hips down, shoulders down, hips tuck, shoulders push. Great work. This is a really great exercise to get control of each vertebrae of your spine, so I recommend doing something like this multiple times throughout the week if you can. All right, let's meet in a child's pose, and we're going to inch our way forward. So come onto your forearms, try to keep your belly and your chest as close to the ground as you can, and come into a cobra pose here. Arch up, look up, and now push back. So your bottom's gonna have to go high, forearms down, push back into child's pose. So each time we come forward, we wanna try to keep all of our torso as close to the ground as we can. Push forward, elevate into a cobra, and now push back. You'll find that one direction, usually going backwards, is a little bit trickier than coming forwards. Think about each motion as you're going forwards, going to your forearms, pushing up, and then reverse that as you go back. So bottom up, back to our forearms, push back into child's pose. One more, forearms down, creep your way forward, and reverse. Push with the hands to give yourself momentum back, and end-to-end child's pose. From here, go ahead and make your way to all fours, tuck the toes, and hover the knees. Keep the hips low, and we're going to lift one hand and then the other. One and then the other. A nice and easy march with our hands. Be very careful not to over-exaggerate and really lift your torso. So this is only in the hands. We want to try to keep the rest of our body completely still, and we're only lifting our hands up. And now the feet. One foot and then the other. Shoulders nice and strong here, so you can see how my back and my torso is not moving. I'm only lifting my feet up. And now one foot and the opposite hand. One foot, the opposite hand. You really have to stabilize with the grounding foot and hand here. Keep strong in the shoulders. Keep alternating, one foot and one hand. Try not to clunk your foot back down when you do come back to a neutral position. Be in control of each movement. Make it nice and graceful, nice and strong. And one foot, one hand. Great, now lift one foot and tap it up to your wrists. One foot, tap your knee to your wrist. You'll notice how my hips are staying in the same position, so I'm making a parallel line with the floor with my back, and I'm only leaning forward to get my knee to touch my wrists. Great, go ahead and take a quick breather here, and then we're going to meet back into bear pose and continue with some more groundwork here. So now lift one foot, flip over, elevate with the shoulder, and come back to the center. Lift a foot, flip over, make sure you're staying elevated in the shoulder, and flip back over. Each side, back and forth, going from bear to crab, bear to crab. Each time you go into crab pose, make sure that that grounding arm is staying super strong. Don't let your chest dip down to the ground. Think of keeping the bottom a little elevated and that shoulder elevated. So make your collarbone rise up to the ceiling. And this time, as we come into crab, we're going to extend the hips up. So bear, crab, extend up. And back to bear. Crab and extend up, crab, back to bear, crab, extend up, back to bear, flip over, crab, extend up, super strong shoulders, back to bear, crab, extend up, back back to crab, bear. Crab, extend up, crab, bear, crab, extend up, crab, bear. Excellent work. Go ahead and take a breath. Now we're going to meet at the wall. So find a seated position at the wall, back flat against the wall, and we want to tuck those hips under so that our entire spine is touching the back of the wall, and cactus our arms. Now go ahead and squeeze your scapulas together. It's not going to look like much, but you'll feel the wall to know whether or not you're squeezing them. So squeeze them together and relax. And now, keeping your arms at 90, bring your elbows down. So we're sliding our arms down. Try to keep every part of the back of your arm against the wall. So the back of my hand, my elbows, my shoulders, my entire spine are staying grounded to the wall, and I'm sliding my elbows down to me. And now we're going to do the upper half. So extend up. Again, try to keep the back of your hand, your elbows, your shoulders, your spine all grounded to the wall. And then bring your hands down to your side. Make a Y position. And we're going to lift our arms up and then come back down. Now this looks easy, but the cues are what makes it hard. So make sure the hips are staying tucked under. Your low back is going to want to arch away from the wall. Don't let it. Keep the ribs tucked in and the belly poking towards the wall. So this is where the ribs in cue is really important. And you'll notice that because if you tuck your ribs under and you tuck your pelvis under, then your spine will be glued to the wall much stronger. Also, we want to make sure that our shoulders are pushing down away from our ears. So now we'll narrow our hands so that they are parallel with each other and raise them up to the wall. As I raise my arms up, my shoulders are going to want to elevate towards my ears. You want to fight that as much as possible. Keep the ribs down, keep the belly in, keep the shoulders down. You can take a break if you need to, but now we're going to repeat. So go back to cactus arms, squeeze the scapulas together. Try to push the back of the wall with your shoulder blades. Push the elbows into the wall, push the scapulas into the wall, push the back of the hands into the wall. And now, keeping your arms at 90, bring your elbows down to your side, back of the hands against the wall. Everything's touching the wall right now. Make sure that those ribs are staying in, the hips are tucked. And then we'll come back to 90 and extend up to the ceiling. Again, elbows touching the wall, back of the hands touching the wall. Keep the ribs in. Keep actively adjusting your hips to make sure that your back is not arching. If you need to take a break because doing a wall sit for this long is hard, that's fine. And then last one, arms out to your side. Make a Y position, shoulders down, away from the ears. Really actively push them down and raise your hands up above. Again, keep those hips tucked under. Don't let your spine start to move away from the wall. This becomes a core workout as well as a leg workout. And really all we're trying to do is get our shoulders to open up. So you'll notice how connected everything is when you try to move in this position. And then come with your arms parallel and again, straight overhead. Really try to force those shoulders down away from your ears. Drive the scapulas into the back of the wall. Great work. And take rest. Now I'm going to show this over here on the side. I don't have a good wall to show this on, but I'm going to extend my hand out to the wall and I'm going to do scapula push-ups, but against the wall. I'm going to use my other hand to actively push that shoulder down away from my ear. So this is like our Ironmans, only using the wall for a little bit of assistance so I can really feel that. So from the back, this is what it's going to look like. I'm pushing that shoulder back and then forward, using my other hand as a cue so that I can keep my shoulder away from my ear. And after a few of these at the wall, then we're going to do these freestanding. So go ahead and come to a kneeling position. And this is where we get true ownership of that motion. So push the shoulder back and push it forward. So now I'm doing the same motion as I was at the wall, but I don't have the wall there for that cue, that guidance. If you find that shoulder creeping up towards your ear, use your arm or your other hand to kind of gently push that down. We're squeezing that muscle kind of back at the corner of our armpit there. Make sure that elbows stay straight this entire time. I know that with my arms, they have a tendency to bend as I'm going back. My arms like to bend as I'm trying to extend the shoulder back. Don't let that happen. Actively fight it. Use your other arm as a cue to help keep the shoulder in place. Extend forward and retract back. From here, if you have a weight, you can use that shoe. Then go ahead and grab that. And again, shoulder down, ribs in, hips tucked, extend all the way up. Reset the shoulder, and now push it up to your ear, come back down. Push it up to your ear, and come back down. Make sure that the elbow is staying nice and strong and straight. Don't let it bend. Ribs are tucked under, hips are tucked under. Make sure the weight is going straight up. Arm stays close to your ear the whole time. You're extending the shoulder up, pushing it back down. And up. This time hold it a little more, extend higher, and back down. Switch to the other side. So again, to start out with, roll the shoulders down, extend up. You can use your hand as guidance to help find where that away from your ear position is, and we're going to push up and come back down. Try not to lean your torso over to make this a side bend. Really keep your rib cage straight. And we're only pushing our shoulder up and down. Up towards your ear and back down. Nice straight arm, ribs tucked under. Up towards our ear and back down. And up, back down, up, and back down. Tuck the ribs, hold it up. Push, 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 and come back down. Now, if you have that shoe or yoga block, that will be useful on this next one. We're going to meet down in child's pose, and I want you to actively push as hard as you can your hands into the ground. So push, push, push as hard as you can. Almost lift your head off the ground. And now raise both hands. They might not move, they may. This requires a lot of shoulder activation, but go ahead and try. And now push them both down into the ground. 1, 2, 3, relax, and now lift them up. Lift, lift, lift. 1, 2, 3, and relax. Hands back down and push. Use those shoulders to push them down. Push, push, push. And relax. And lift. Lift them higher. Make sure those elbows are straight. No cheating. Lift, lift, lift. And relax. From here, put your hands into a prayer position. So your palms are together. And we are going to now push our elbows down into the ground and push our hands together. So similar to what we just did, but now our hands are pushing together as well. So we'll push for 5 counts. Push, 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 push those hands together, and then relax. To relax, you can lay your hands back down. If you want a little bit extra external rotation, then use the yoga block between your hands. Come up and push. Push your elbows into the ground, push the yoga block, Push a little harder, keep push more, elbows down, and relax. Readjust if you need to, try to keep those elbows close to your head, and come back up, push the elbows down into the ground, squeeze that yoga block. Push harder on the elbows, push them down into the ground, squeeze the yoga block, push, and relax. And again, we're gonna come up, squeeze the yoga block, push the elbows down, push. A little more, squeeze that yoga block, and come back down. And again, readjust if you need to, arms up, elbows down, pushing, squeeze that yoga block, squeeze more, and relax. Give yourself a nice stretch after that. Now you can go ahead and come to a fully laying down position, belly on the floor. You can rest your head on your forearms, and we're going to move our legs into a diamond shape. So our toes are together, our knees are out to the side, and we're gonna elevate our knees up off the floor. And now extend your right leg and the left leg, and extend both. And the right leg, come back each time to the center so that your toes touch, and both, right, left, and both. Each time you come back to center, lift the knees a little bit higher off the floor, left, and both, a little bit higher, lift the right, and the left, and both. Make sure you're getting your legs completely straight each time that you're extending, so give the quads a good squeeze to make sure that the knees are not bent at all. And left, and extend both. Knees a little higher, right, left, and both. Great, now come down and back up. 8 times. 7, 6, 5, 4, a nice squeeze at the top, 2, and 1, and hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, pulse at the top, ready, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, great work. Go ahead and bring the feet down. You can now bring your feet together and extend your arms out in front of you. So there's a few variations you can use with your arms. You can have them out in front as you lift. You can have them underneath your chin to help you lift, or you can even have them behind your head, whichever you prefer. And we're going to lift 4 times, 2 and 3, just lifting our arms. Then place our arms down, and now just lifting our legs, feet together, 2, 3, and 4. Now extend the arms out, and again, just lift the arms, 3 and 4. Now place the arms down, lift the legs, 2, 3, and 4. Extend the arms out and get ready to lift them both. Ready, go. Lift, lift. Squeeze that entire posterior chain. So we're squeezing all the way from our shoulders to our buns, and hold, and pulse at the top. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Don't go down yet. Hold again. Squeeze a little bit more, and relax. Great job. Okay, go ahead and find that pair of shoes and put them on. So again, we need to make sure that we have a pair of shoes that have laces. So this is just a fun little sort of core work that you can do, and we want to neutralize our spine after doing that arching and back bending. So go ahead and come to your back once you have your shoes on. You can leave them untied. Extend your legs up straight. So you want to try to keep your feet over your hips. So, cheating would be to bring your feet closer to your head. And then lift your shoulders up using your core and tie your shoes. This may take a couple times. The shoelace kept slipping off of my fingers. So again, you can also use the wall if you like behind you and have your legs supported by the wall. And that means that you'll have to crunch up higher because you won't be able to cheat and draw your feet closer to your face. And back down, and now reverse. So come back up and untie them. Really use that core. Keep the legs nice and straight, and you'll get an added bonus of a hamstring stretch here. And come back up and tie them. Maybe tie the other shoe first this time. Keep the legs nice and straight. Use those abdominal muscles to really pull you up. And get the other shoe. So also test how quickly you can tie your shoes under pressure. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone, and I hope you have a lovely week. Cheers.